First time I built him out, I built him with, oh my lord, take a rest! How many hits? How many was that? Guys, somebody's got a buff. And it's actually a pretty juicy buff, honestly. So I wanted to do a quick showcase showing somebody that's probably in a lot of people's vaults if they played the game for a while. Yeah, Skull Lord Var-Gall. He was actually a fusible champion back in the day. I don't know, maybe going back over a year now. And it was actually a really different type of fusion. For those people that didn't play, what you had to do was go into campaign, into the sewers, and farm up 16 copies of Skull Sworn, and then you merge them together into 4 Drakes, and then you merge them together into a Skull Lord. And he was the first kind of champion that came in with these sort of different animations and stuff. It was actually pretty cool, but unfortunately, he's been pretty weak. Yeah, so he got a bit of playtime in arena resets for a while as like this, basically just a lump of meat, just as a immovable object, a tank. He's got really high base tank stats, but unfortunately his damage multipliers are low. Yeah, well, they're not terrible, but they're also really not great. So Skull Lord's got this buff now, 2 buffs actually. He got a reduction by 1 turn on his Abyssal Clutch, which just makes him a little bit more viable as a AoE drop attack champion. Albeit I don't think this is going to be his best move still. But the major buff that he got was that his decreased max HP skill now works against bosses. Now, a lot of bosses will be immune to this, okay? So it's not going to work everywhere, but faction war bosses are not immune to this. And that's actually quite a big upgrade for this dude. And also the Scarab boss has got this big old shield we need to knock down with decreased max HP. And I tell you now, this guy is the best man for the job by a mile if it stays as it is. Now, I put out a video saying I think it might be a bit bugged. Plarium have come back. I'll show you this. So Plarium did their kind of raid digest. They do this every couple of weeks, talking about stuff in the game. And they've got this part here where they say, speaking of the bosses, let's turn our attention to the new rock star of the show, Skull Lord Var-Gall, who is performing way better against the Scarab boss due to the newly updated passive. No worries, it is not a bug, but an intentional redesign of this champion. I still feel like it's a bug. But I'm going to show you him now against the Scarab boss. And this dude is pretty insane. He's probably now the best champion in the game against Scarab boss. Maybe with the exception of Eurost. But I still feel like he's up there against Eurost as well. I've tried him as a weak build. And that worked, by the way. But then last night we were playing around on stream and I've tried him in a stronger build. So people are asking me, could he run at level 50 and do the same job? I think he can. Also, he literally needs no books. My guy was already booked. And unfortunately, I don't have a copy. But he doesn't need any books at all to do what you're about to see against the Scarab boss. He can absolutely solo the Scarab boss. And I'm actually going to try him for this first run alongside a Geo. Just to see if it is basically insane. So I think it will be. We will see. But I've only unlocked until level 50 on hard. So this is level 50 hard, Scarab boss. On stream, I was running these 2 together. Easy solo. But I'm going to throw a Geo in the mix just because I want to see if it becomes like crazy quick. So what I've done with this comp is I've just locked out all of the abilities of the Skull Lord apart from his A1. And then I've thrown Giant Slayer on him because he's got this chance on his A1 to get continuous extra hits, which is kind of nutty. So all I'm going to do here, let's just make sure that this is the first choice for Geo. But I want to use this as my opener against the waves. And then all I've done, I've just turned off the other abilities. Yeah, so we've literally got a A1 Skull Lord champion. Ethos is only in there basically to clear waves for me. Skull Lord could clear the waves, by the way. It's just slow. So, you know, if you just literally wanted to run him full solo, he could go in there and clear these waves up. But obviously, someone like a Nuka, an AoE Nuka, will do it quicker for you. Skull Lord goes in with this A1. And as I say, he's got a chance to do multiple hits. I've got him in regen set. I think you need him in regen set because you don't do a lot of physical damage to the Scarab boss. So if you're not running regen gear, I think you're going to run out of health. See the way he did that double hit there? That's his A1 proccing multiple times. These dudes come back up. Can't do much about that. We just have to kind of work our way through them. Luckily, I've got no turn meter control here, so it's not like they stay alive forever when you're bringing your normal Scarab boss team in. So it's actually a kind of big benefit for having this type of comp. Eventually, my ethos will be dead. Sometimes he clears all the way. Sometimes he drops down. I don't really care. In fact, at this point, I kind of want him to be dead because then it's less hassle for me on the Scarab boss. But let's get on to the boss then. So let me slow this down. I've got my burnout. We're going to start taking hits. When we take a hit, look at that passive kicking in from Skull Lord. Literally exploding this shield. When we take a hit, Geo also does his damage. So I'm thinking these two together for a kind of quick run. Speed it up now, you can see what's going on. Look at the max HP going down. It's insanity. It's insanity right now. And we've got the burn up there as well, which just means that every time we counterattack hit, we're breaking shield and we're doing damage. Is it not insanity? I probably should put Geo in regen set as well, honestly. And then that way, he stays up for the whole fight. And this just carries on. See those extra hits? That's why I've done Giant Slayer. Because he is just proccing hits like a lunatic. And then this shield is just getting absolutely smacked down. Every time we take damage. Why has it stopped getting smacked down? What's changed? Something weird there. It actually stopped being smacked down. I'm not really sure why. But it's going back to getting smacked down again. Geo's gone down. He's had a rest now. He's done his work. And then it's just literally closing out the fight. You could run him in like a full comp. But I don't really see a point in doing that. We've now beaten up all of his max HP. And then we just got to beat the rest of his health bar. Because he's in regen set. I mean, he's got a massive base HP. He's like 27k. So he does not worry about whether he can heal back up. This will definitely work on level 100, whenever it is we face him next. Easily. Like, we're not even close to being in trouble here. First time I built him out, I built him with, oh my lord, take a rest! How many hits? How many was that? That's literally insane. He's just hit about 50 times in a row. When I first built him out, I built him out with high resistance, which is like a safer build because you don't get this decreased speed on. But because we're just A1-ing, I don't care about being provoked. Decreased attack doesn't change any of my damage. So it's only the decreased speed that's affecting me in any way. And it's not really a big deal. So we're just absolutely slaying this dude. Damn, that was actually really fun. So the other thing which you can do here. So I built him in a kind of like damagey type of regen build. And I think it's probably the best way to go. But yeah, at level 50 unbooked, as long as you've got enough HP and regen set, I still think you solo. I just think you do it slower. So 3 minutes 41. And we have absolutely just annihilated the Scarab boss without even thinking. And apparently, he isn't bugged. So that's the way he's going to stay. That same kind of thing where you're taking damage and decreasing max HP will definitely help you against faction war bosses as well. Let me just show you how I've got him built for this. 4-piece regen, 2-piece speed. I've got high defense, high HP. I've got 100% crit rate so that I just get crits off. And crit damage, but you saw he wasn't doing like tons of damage. So the benefit of going high damage build here is negligible, I would say. You know, you're better off staying alive than trying to do it quick, I would think. And we went Giant Slayer as the main mastery with a chance to counterattack here as well. But there you go, guys. I went Blood Shield. I don't think you need to go Blood Shield because we're not trying to do the same type of normal strat here of keeping a shield up so that we don't get the debuffs on us. Actually, you can just go away. Don't need Blood Shield. But there you go, guys. Look, real quick and dirty, but Skull Lord is buffed and it's actually a pretty juicy buff. I've been Hell Hades. Have a good one. I'll see you later.